think we all know by now, after almost a year of these PAP reports, that many police constables, especially high-ranking ones, are misogynistic, bullying, deviant predators. And I don't mean the awesome predators from the film. We hear all too often about police engaging in deviant sexual behaviour, even with colleagues, vulnerable victims of crime, and even with children. Well, Police Scotland are now under the microscope after female firearms officer Rhona Malone is now taking legal action for a second time in a civil claim over the way that she says she was treated. She said, "For such a long time I felt I was on my own. Now I realise there is an institutional problem within Police Scotland after so many officers have come forward." Allegedly, former colleagues from an armed unit covering the east of Scotland backed up her claims in a report, which was said to have been sent to senior officers, claiming the team was under pressure to work up to 7 days a week while expecting to make life or death decisions in critical situations. And I find myself wondering how many of them simply went ahead and worked instead of bringing it up at the time and refusing to do the extra time. But then I also find myself wondering, now that they are former plods and no longer able to earn the overtime, how many think of the payday this is going to earn them when the force agrees to pay them an out-of-court settlement in order not to give themselves a bad name. The Scottish Parliament last week debated Police Scotland's complaints procedures. Scottish Conservative Shadow Justice Secretary Liam Kerr raised the case of Police Constable Karen Harper and what happened when she challenged the force's refusal to grant her flexible working for childcare needs. She won her discrimination claim after being forced to retire on ill health, but Mr Kerr said what angered her most was the corrosive saga that consumed her life for 5 years could have been prevented if only the system had been fair. Since the creation of Police Scotland, there has been a relentless flow of revelations around the complaints process and governance. So what you're saying is ex-plod are suddenly realising that the force is actually as bad towards its own as it is towards the people? Shocking! Mr Kerr called on the Scottish Government to publish a tracker to show which of almost 100 recommendations made by former Lord Advocate Dame Elise Angioloni would be adopted and when. Ms Harper was told that she had to engage with the system over her complaint, but said, "But what happens when the system is broken, as Dame Elise has now confirmed? The police used vast sums of public money on lawyers to crush those with a legitimate grievance." Of course they do. Why should they care about how much grievances cost them? Why should they care about how much out-of-court settlements cost them when they aren't even using their own money? Police Scotland said the significant majority of our officers and staff conduct themselves in line with our values of fairness, integrity, respect, and with a commitment to upholding human rights. Upholding human rights. What a laugh. Especially when Scotland's Justice Secretary Hamza Yousaf wants to eliminate human rights by prosecuting anyone who says anything deemed a little naughty in their own home, completely wiping out the ability to have free speech and freedom of thought. This is not a surprising story to me. It's evident weekly that police are some of the most narcissistic people on the planet, and it's not helped by the fact that many of them fail to stand against poor practices at the time it happens, simply allowing it to play out in the hope they're not shunned by their colleagues when their colleagues couldn't care less about them anyway. Big thank you to channel supporters, especially these guys. Your support is truly appreciated. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, as I know many of you will. And until next time, stay safe, look after each other, film the police and other officials.